Yes, so like Jesus himself said that there's no servant apart from his master, and so he suffered and he died. But thanks be to him that in our suffering it doesn't end there. Like there's meaning to it, and we hope that we will rise with him one day. And like speaking personally, not to go into much detail, but I went through a really big crisis of faith after my fourth child passed away, where it was very hard to pray. And it was like, God, this doesn't feel good. And I don't even know if you're good anymore because, like, you gave me this child and, I prayed for this child. I love this child and you're just going to take him from me, And there's a lot of anger that I had toward him. And so, like a lot of bereaved parents, I went through a crisis of faith. And I think what has helped in the healing after that, because that was in August of last year, was just opening up to him again and like knowing that he still loves me and starting there, like I don't think I'll ever understand like why that happened, or why a lot of bad things happen, but starting at the central point that he loves me and he wants my good, I think, that's the first step. So
do you feel like that situation that you went through, which is so sad, I hadn't heard you mention that before, so I'm so sorry that happened to you, but do you feel like the process of going through that suffering and then coming back, do you feel like your faith's stronger now that you've been through it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's
it's just so like
yeah.
I mean, it's so heavy, and I think a lot of people, unfortunately, can listen and just relate to you, and just, I mean, I often think it's a weird thought to have, but I'm not a mother yet, and when I look at the Blessed Mother, whether it be in Mass or saying the Rosary, and last week they talked about it a little bit in the conversations they had, but like having anxiety or just suffering, and especially as a mom losing a child, like I can't even fathom what you went through and what you go through every day. But I look at the Blessed Mother and I'm just like, how? Like, how did you have this strength? And, if you started this podcast by saying, like, there's no coincidence, right? And I don't think it was a coincidence that we see the Blessed Mother having to lose her son. And God gave us just this horrible, beautiful experience just to allow us to, he invites us to experience that pain with him and with the Blessed Mother. And it's just so hard. And I really thank you for sharing that because it's easy for us to hop on a podcast and talk about the great things in our faith and how we've grown.
It definitely seems like one thing that you can do, and this is true in many aspects of life, not just in your faith, but there's always going to be times where you're going to be like, I don't want to do this, right? It might be for your job. It might be for going to the gym. It might be, in your faith. And it's those moments that are the opportunity to just do it anyway. And when you work through, that's when you see the most growth. It's when you go to the gym when you don't want to go to the gym and you just do it anyway that you see the most advancement. It's the same thing with your faith. It's those times where you're not feeling it and you just do it anyway. You still go to Mass anyway. That pulls you out the backside of that darkness.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Normie, please don't answer this if you don't want to, but like, where are you at today with, do you still struggle daily or like, every once in a while with understanding?
Oh, definitely. I mean, especially when his name is Michael Victor.
Yeah.
We call him Mikey for short. Like the moment we lost, or the moment that he passed away, yeah, there's a lot of why God, I don't understand. I don't think I'll ever understand. There's nothing. Even when I think about other parents who have lost their children, like God, you're so good. Why would you allow all of this heartache, to happen? And it's doesn't, in my human limited understanding, I don't get it. God, like, you are so powerful, but why could you let this happen? And but I think just being vulnerable with him in that, because I even told him, like, like, God, I hate you.
Yeah.
You took my child. And
Yeah.
And he has big shoulders. He can take it.
yeah, exactly. He's a big boy. And the beautiful thing is that, like, he held me even in those moments where I hated him, and just. And I think that's what helped with the healing, and also learning. I mean, there's a lot of moms I've talked to who've lost their kids, and nothing could soothe, like, explain or help me understand why, but it was their belief that God still loved them, and God loved their child more than they could ever love that child.
Yeah.
That helped them persevere. That also gave me hope too. So yeah, that's where I am. Like, I see Mikey's passing as a redemptive thing, because it's taught me to love my children more. The children, his siblings here, his older siblings better, and helps me to defend life more, especially see the value of life much more, value of my own mental health and physical health more. And so, like, if I didn't have faith, it would be like, God, okay, he's gone. That's the end of the story. I despair. I give up, God. Like, if I didn't have any faith. But I know that it's a gift. Faith is a gift. And, thanks be to God that he continues to help it to grow in us. I think about, like, baptism and, like, the little candle that we get. Our sponsor holds for us, a little candle. And then they say, the priest says, like, protect this little light of faith, and that when you meet our Savior, that we hope that it will be a big flame, right? And so, like, in those dark moments, like, I felt that he was helping the faith to grow more. Yeah.
What a powerful just
Woo!
testimony.
I was going to share that today.
Thank you for
Yeah, Normie, that right there just gave, like, the listeners, everyone in this room,
Chills.
Well, yeah, I mean, I want to vomit. That just sitting in the presence of someone who I just met you recently, but, and I didn't know you when you were going through that, but just to hear, thank you for saying that you hate God. I know you don't, but thank you for just saying, like, in that moment, and maybe even tomorrow you're going to say, like, you just don't know, but it's such a real emotion, and I'm just very thankful that you're so open to share with us, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I feel like we all have emotions, and a lot of times we're not necessarily willing to be honest with it, right?
Yeah.
We might have a feeling, and there's never an emotion that's wrong, right? It's never wrong to feel a certain way. It's just the way that you react to that.
Yeah,
right?
and probably, I don't know, I'm not a psychologist, but I would think that this is how this spiritual growth happens,
Right.
is that we have this spiritual community, and we're sharing with one another. We're recording this on a Saturday night, and we're all coming together to talk about this. And again, like, I have a million other things going on, and I came into this podcast thinking, what the heck are we going to talk about today? And you may have just changed my life, like, listening to how much I know that you love God, even in this time of such heartbreak. So, thank you.
Thank you.